Hi, good afternoon, everyone. The time has come for me to share the experience I had with TR. But before I get started, I'm just going to give you some time, give some more people time to log in. This live broadcast will also be recorded, so for those of you who are tuning in to the recording, it's a pleasure for me to see you here, to have you listen and look at this experience. It's an experience mixed with a presentation. It's a new thing that I've discovered on Facebook Live, that we can actually share our screen. And what I would like to share with you today is supported by some images that I have set up for you to look at. So welcome to this live stream. My name is Séverine Nassens. For those of you who do not know me, I was born and raised in Belgium. I have been in Mexico, though, for the last 20 years. And over the last 6 years, let's say, I have been blessed with many teachers, with many experiences that have allowed me to grow, have allowed me to advance, and have allowed me to become who I wish to become and who I came here to be. And one of those people that I have had the blessing of crossing paths with is Yvonne de la Flor. She is the creator of Transcendental Rebirthing, which is a system that does a lot of things to one. And this is the experience exactly I want to share with you today. Recently, I received an intensive 5-day training on Transcendental Rebirthing with Yvonne de la Flor, the creator of this system, and supported by 3 of the Transcendental Rebirthing trainers that have been working with Yvonne for over 10 years. Now, some of you have asked me what it was all about, what this experience has been like, and some wanted to know a bit more about TR. And also, as part of the Facilitator training, we were requested to share 3 principles. So I want to take this opportunity to share these 3 of the principles with you, because the system is supported by more than 30 sacred principles. Today I will share 3 of them with you. And as as I go through that foundation, as I keep studying the foundation, and as I go through the sacred principles, slowly I'm finding words to share my experience with you through these 3 principles that are helping me bring forward the impact that Transcendental Rebirthing and the principles have on my life. Now, the first principle I'd like to share with you is the one on the hero's journey, the secret principle of the hero's journey. And many of you may have heard the term hero's journey before. And I will go more into that in just a second. But first of all, I want to share with you why I chose the hero's journey as one of the principles I wanted to share with you. Because at the time of my personal TR experience, TR being Transcendental Rebirthing, you may hear me say TR a few times. That means Transcendental Rebirthing. I knew I was in for a transformational and transcendental experience. Yet I had no idea of how it all would happen, as every TR experience is a different experience. And it's a very personal experience. It's an experience that is lived differently by each and every turn being that goes into the womb. And that experiences Transcendental Rebirthing. I've had the honor to be a witness and support staff at a Transcendental Rebirth about 2 years ago. And I was absolutely in awe of the event, the profoundness of the experience for the turn being, and the impact it had on my personal life. Even though it was not my turn that day, I was invited to bring support and hold the space for the turn being that day. And I actually felt a shift in my energy. I felt a shift in my being And an immediate shift happened within my family, even though they did not know I was going through this experience as a support staff. Now, when we work with someone, when we assist them, when we guide them through a transformational journey, we too benefit from that person's heroic journey. And now it was my turn. The first couple of days of November this year, 2018, it was my turn. And I received the training so that I can bring these sacred principles forward and I can assist those who are called for their personal heroic journey through TR. And as I stepped into the experience, I knew I would step in being one person and step out being a totally different person. And believe me, so it happened. Now, the hero's journey comes from the studies of Joseph Campbell, who originally exposed it in 1949 in the monomyth with 17 stages, as you can see on the screen. That's why I wanted to share these images with you. This hero's journey is brought by Joseph Campbell and charted in the monomyth. There are 17 stages, and these 17 stages are organized within 3 main phases. The hero's journey is as much a physical, emotional, and spiritual journey. It's a journey towards self-knowledge. And not all events will occur in each hero's journey. Neither do they always appear in the same exact order. And I'm not going to go through all the 17 stages with you today because it's not a lecture on a hero's journey as such. I do invite you to look into this, look into the books that Joseph Campbell has written on the hero's journey and these theories, because I find it very, very interesting. And what I do want to share with you are the 3 main phases. The first one, the first phase, is the separation from the old. It's the 4 stages where we actually realize we're uncomfortable with who we are, or what we've become, and the situations that we are in. And it brings forward the urge to change and the resistance to that same change. You may want to change something, but you do have this resistance. And then somebody or something appears, which is the aid that will help us beyond that threshold. And that will bring us into the second phase, which is called initiation, where we enter into the sphere of rebirth, trials, perfection, excuse me, temptation, overcoming judgment, mental blocks, and fears toward inner peace. And then we move into the third phase, which is called the return. This is where we integrate and where all the changes become obvious. The adaptation into the real world happens, and the hero relaxes into whatever may come to pass in him, and the impact starts to occur in the world around us. And we understand that it was only through the death of the former self that the new life is able to surface. It's where we learn to really be, where we learn to exist. So a beautiful quote from Joseph Campbell, says we must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Now, one of the phases I do want to go into deeper is the belly of the whale, and this represents the story, the moment where the hero in this journey has to go inward and be born again. And in Joseph Campbell's stories, where he talks about this, the hero has left the comforts of home. That this is one of these crucial moments where the person is swallowed by something in his stories. Something is larger than him. It could be an elephant, a monster, a wolf, a whale. And in this period of time inside, let's say the belly of the whale represents the critical period of incubation of inner change, because it doesn't happen overnight. There's a time of incubation where the old dies and the new is born. And this is something you can see in many movies For example, in Star Wars, Luke Skywalker goes to meet Yoda in the dark, mysterious planet, and then from there on, he journeys into becoming a Jedi. Same with Gandalf, who falls into the depths of the middle of the earth, and then he turns from gray into white. So for those of you who like these movies, you can look at them and actually find all phases of the hero's journey throughout these movies. Many movies have been made using these principles. And this is where the metamorphosis goes on in the belly of the whale. And I've chosen this part of the monomyth from Joseph Campbell as in particular, because to me it represents the womb of TR, the womb we work with in Transcendental Rebirthing. And once you step into that womb, the process of change is on. There is no way back. However, the rest of the journey starts to occur naturally, and it flows from there. And in my personal experience, as I search to become more conscious, as I walk the path of discovering towards awakening, every now and then I search to dive in, to go deep, and to step into the belly of the whale, to park my past, to let go of my stories, stories that are not even mine, and to embrace my essence, to advance to the next level of this amazing journey, my own personal hero's journey. Now the next sacred principle I wish to share with you is the gift of the missing experience. And I find it magical, and it is something that is used in many psychological therapies. One of them being family constellations, for example, is something that I had seen before. And this very experience, as we were in the TR Facilitator training, I had an amazing opportunity to live a missing experience. As I went on my hero's journey into the womb, certain fears, different frustrations, and profound sadness came to the surface. And Yvonne, who was guiding me through this experience, she noticed that there was a repeating pattern, a deep longing for acceptance from my parents as a team, a deep desire to be recognized, a deep cry, a missing experience. And that led to what I must admit was one of the most amazing, liberating parts of my personal womb experience within Transcendental Rebirthing. Sorry, I get emotional. It was such a strong experience that, why? Because when we have missing experiences from our past, most of them come from our childhood. And they can come from more recent events, but most of them are mine was from my childhood, from my teen years. These memories that we have, they're locked together with emotions. And these emotions can hold us back from advancing in life, from growing and from moving forward. And having that gift of the missing experience, being able to really live that experience, allows us to heal, it allows us to forgive, it allows us to understand, move on, and thrive. And being able to live my missing experience, I got to live the experience I had been longing for my entire life. I got to heal those wounds that were deep, deep inside. I was also able to understand and to forgive my parents for not having had that experience in my teen years. And I was able to feel accepted, feel recognized, and I was rewarded. I was rewarded with the gift of the missing experience. Now, there's a third sacred principle I would like to share with you, and it is slowing down. And slowing down has become, for me, one of the sacred principles, the most important sacred principle. Because many of those who know me especially friends and people I have worked with, they know me as velocity. And yes, it means me, velocity, because I like to move forward. I like to do things fast. I like to take immediate action, and I like to have things done now with the urgency of yesterday. So with this secret principle of TR, I have really taken this to heart because I practice it every single day. When I feel I'm speeding up like now, I take a deep breath and I say to myself, I am slowing down. When I feel my central nervous system is going into overdrive, and it happens several times a day, because the environment I have created for myself in the past is one of fast, steady, speedy action, resolving problems and getting things done and all of that, but it is changing because I am slowing down my own pace. As I am slowing down, it allows me to regain control over my central nervous system, over my mental and emotional body. Because when we speed up, when we allow our nervous system to get really, really hyper, we go into survival mode and we react. We become reactive. And slowing down is something is inherent to all of us. It's inherent to our being. We all have it. It just requires practice. It's like breathing. We all know how to breathe. But if we really, really learn how to breathe properly, we are able to control our nervous system, our central nervous system. We know that we can keep our own pace, keep it down, keep it slow, and make sure that we think things through. We do not react. We do not go into always wanting to take immediate action. That this slowing down is a sacred principle that, for me, honestly, has become a day-to-day practice. And thank you so much, Yvonne, for sharing this with us, and also for teaching me personally how it really works, because it's an invitation to become more present, not to rush into things, to take it easy, to let things sink in, to sit in the question, instead of finding answers right away, being reactive, to be more conscious about my breath, about my speed, about my velocity, about my answers, about my words and my actions. Basically, it's really easy to do. All we require is practice. Breathe consciously, become conscious about how deep you're breathing or how shallow you're breathing at the moment, and say, I am slowing down. Make that a reminder to your body and your mind to go and slow down. Take a good look and be really, really, really present. Now, as I shared with you in the beginning of this live stream, Transcendental Rebirthing has taken me to a whole new level. I've confronted deep and dark parts of my being. I faced fear, frustration, impotence. I felt really uncomfortable, way outside my comfort zone. To release the old me, to let go of beliefs that were holding me back, to see the pieces of me that were hurting, to see the pieces of me that were still clinging to the stories that are not mine, to the pain that does not belong to me, to memories that belong to my ancestors, to fears that were programmed into my DNA that belong to my ancestors, and they do not longer serve me for my survival. They were holding me back from thriving, nor will they serve my future generations. I was able to embrace joy and laughter in a way I've never done before. I received the support of the womb team. I felt embraced, I felt safe, and I was able to let go of these fears, of that pain, of those memories, of these stories, and I surrendered. I surrendered into the womb with the intention to be rebirthed into a new version of me, into a truer version of me, and in a transformed version of who I am. And I emerged. First, after the 5-day intense experience was over, it was all a blur. But as the veils began to unravel and they started fading away, and as I slowed down, integrating by sitting into the question and integrating this experience into my day-to-day life, the light became brighter, the sound became clearer, the flavors became intenser. The gratitude filled my heart, and joy filled my soul. And as I realized that transcendental rebirthing I went through is a true gift. So thank you, Yvonne de la Flor, for allowing me to go through this rite of passage, through this hero's journey, because it is a blessing. I feel it is a blessing to receive in this lifetime, and it's a new opportunity to create a life that is worth sharing with all of you. It is a new opportunity to live the life I'm meant to live. It's my personal hero's journey. So I would like to invite all of you to listen to the call of the womb. If you feel the call for your hero's journey, go ahead and live your own hero's journey through the experience of transcendental rebirthing. This is my testimony. This is my sharing. I will go through all the comments later and answer you one by one. If you have questions, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to share. Just contact me personally and we'll connect. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.